Hi, my name is Chris White, or YouTube user Nowhere to Run 1984. The following excellent documentary, or expose on Jordan Maxwell, I didn't make. I did help a little bit with some voiceover stuff, and I consulted here and there, but it was made by Truth Out Media. And you can go to their website, which is on the screen, or in the description section. It's youtube.com/truthoutmedia. And if you're intrigued by this video and you want to see more like it, you can see my video debunking Jordan Maxwell the movie. Thanks for your time.
Take Jordan Maxwell, for example. The water of life. Jordan, of course, is a river. And it provided the water of life for many people over in the Middle East. It's a very sacred river, a very honored river. And of course, Maxwell means maximum and well. Well contains the water of life within the arid deserts of humanity. So therefore, Jordan Maxwell means the deepest well of wisdom. And today, he is going to allow us to drink from that cup which he provided us.
Because if you lie one time, you're just a liar. And consequently, your testimony is of no value, period. But there are two kinds of facts. The kind you look up and the kind you make up.
Part 1. A brief biography. Jordan on other-world experiences.
But I was being exposed at a very early age to the really, totally dark side, a side of the occult world that most people don't even want to think about. I woke up one night, in the middle of the night, and I went totally ballistic. When I woke up, there was an entity in the room, and it was, I cannot tell you how evil the presence was to my spirit. Whatever it was that was in my room was so profoundly evil. So I started having, for a lack of a better term, otherworld experiences at a very early age, going out of my body. That was a whole off-the-wall experience, too, at 8 years old, 9 years old. One night when I was a small child, my dog woke up at about 5 o'clock in the morning. I woke up, my dog was howling and barking, and, of course, waking up the neighborhood. And my dad yelled, go quiet that dog. And I knew that there was something bad because the dog was going out of its mind. And so I ran out to the back porch, and I'm telling you, the dog had cornered between my backyard fence and my dad's garage. It had cornered a Tyrannosaurus Rex, a little small, about 2 foot high, or I would estimate about 2 foot high, full developed dinosaur. I actually, with my own eyes, saw 6 pterodactyls in Los Angeles back in I would say probably 1980, 81, and I saw this little black dot, and it was almost not perceptible, and then I watched it because it seemed to be coming my way. This thing was flat out moving, and it was a huge pterodactyl. It was enormous in size, and it was moving at an extraordinary rate of speed. And on Saturday morning, I was in a restaurant back in '59, and there was a young little girl sitting next to me, and I started a conversation, and so we became very good friends. So one night she came over and knocked on my door, and she said, my dad wants to talk to you. So I went with her, and I knew with an immediacy that this was a very special man. And then, just very nonchalantly, he said to me, he said, remember when you were about 10 years old, 8 years old, something like that, back in Florida, and remember how your dad built a new back porch? The old back porch was falling apart, and you were talking to God that night, and you asked God to let you do something important with your life? He said, remember that? I know that because we were there. We saw you. We've been watching you for a long time. We brought you here. We're the reason why you're here. And we're going to use you to do something later on in your life. And we're going to train you and prepare you for what you're going to do for us. He said, but I'm going to give you a book that's going to begin your journey for you. And I want you to take the book and read it, and it's going to begin a life for you and where you're going to go and what you're going to do ultimately later in your life. But I remember him distinctly saying, don't worry about where you're to live, what you're to do. Just go on with your life. We will guide you. We will decide what you're going to do and what you won't do. We brought you here. And I'm just standing there looking at him, and he says, come in, I want to give you the book. And he did. And the book was the complete works of Charles Fort. Anyway, when I was in Hawaii, my wife and I went to Hawaii with some friends back in the 80s, and we're sitting in a restaurant, and I had my back to the door, and someone came in to the restaurant. I didn't see them, but immediately there was an electrical shock went through my body. And in my head, I was hearing, get up and run quick. You're in trouble. Your life is in danger. Run. And I got up and I ran across the restaurant, the restaurant, and I ran to the kitchen, and the voice kept saying, run, get out of here quick. Your life is in danger. And it said, run around to the front side of the ocean side of the hotel. I ran all the way around to the ocean side, and then the voice said, you're all right now. You're safe. Sit down. You're okay. I was down in San Diego working for the Truth Seeker Company in the mid-'90s. I woke up, and there was an angel. All I can tell you is it was a typical, what you would vision an angel to be, with huge, beautiful wings glowing, but I could not see the face very well, and I realized the moment I saw it, it was neither male nor female. Instantly, I knew that. Mm-hmm. But it was a very powerful presence, a glowing kind of angel, for the lack of a better description. And it had a sword in his hand. It had a sword, but the blade was fire. It was burnt. You could hear the crackling fire, and the sword was pointed at my face. And so when I woke up, I saw the sword, which was actually the blade was fire, but it was pointing exactly at my face.
Oh, I'd yell too.
And I jumped up and yelled and jumped up, and my heart was pounding. And it stood there for a moment. It pulled the sword up, straight up over to its face, straight up, and it just stood there looking at me, and then it began to quickly disappear.
In summary, Maxwell claims to have had many otherworld experiences from a very early age. Such experiences occurred throughout his life, including seeing demons, waking up to an angel holding a flaming sword to his face, and hearing voices in his head which warned him of imposing danger to his life. Maxwell also claims to have witnessed several living dinosaurs in his lifetime, including pterodactyls and a Tyrannosaurus rex. When he was 19 years old, Maxwell claims to have met a girl by a chance encounter in a restaurant, who in turn introduced Maxwell to her father. The man had the power to summon UFOs and claimed to have watched Maxwell for a very long time, even knowing his innermost thoughts. The man claimed that Maxwell was being controlled by those who had been watching Maxwell throughout his life, and that they were going to use Maxwell to do something later in his life. He also gave Maxwell a book which would help begin a life for Maxwell. Part 2. Maxwell's mentors. Number 1, Helena Blavatsky.
Helena Petrovna Blavatsky?
Right.
Yes. Yes, I have all of her works.
You have?
Yes.
Well, that's why, yes.
I think her best work was Isis Unveiled, Part 2, which is theology.
Right. Science.
And that was an exceptional work. I think that Helena Petrovna Blavatsky the Russian mystic, was a very wise and perceptive lady, and she had some very profound knowledge, obviously, and her academic achievements were extraordinary, and so I have a very high respect for the work of